I've known Joe for over 40 years, and my husband and I, we were good friends with them. And I just felt like it was time to take a stand on this.
Happening this morning, Cindy McCain, the widow of our late Senator John McCain, speaking with ABC News about her decision to endorse former Vice President Joe Biden for president. The longtime Republican citing her family's close relationship with the Bidens as part of her decision. McCain also saying she plans to join Joe Biden for campaign events here in Arizona. So will this have an impact on the race? We certainly know that Arizona is a key battleground state here as we move closer to the election, now less than 6 weeks away. The latest polls are showing Biden ahead of President Trump in Arizona. So up early with us this morning and talking about this is political analyst Stan Barnes. And first of all, we want to say thank you for waking up with us. You know, considering Joe Biden was one of 5 speakers at our late senator's funeral just a couple of years ago, does this really come as a surprise to people? And how much weight will this hold as we get closer to Election Day?
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise. I think it is, it's fraught with symbolism, a lot of important symbolism. But it's no surprise. I mean, this is the year 2020, anything can happen. Donald Trump is a singularly interesting, unorthodox candidate in the United States, in the history of the country. And Cindy McCain is playing her part. She doesn't like the president. Her husband that has passed was a good friend of Joe Biden, and I think that's the main component.
So we did see a statement that was released by President Trump, who said she didn't endorse him back in 2016 and that he still won. How important are endorsements like this in a campaign like this?
Yeah, they're not as important as you might think. That's why the symbolic thing. They feel very important to some people. They feel very important to the Biden campaign and to McCain loyalists in Arizona, which I'm one, by the way. But it's not really going to move the meter. I mean, the average voter is not making a decision about this unorthodox historic president based on what Cindy McCain thinks. She might be, to be charitable about it, she might be giving license to that person who is wondering, can I vote for a Democratic candidate when I never do that? But I really don't think this is a measurable thing. I think it's all symbolism and important to a very few people.
Well, aside from what's happening with the endorsement, we do want to talk about what's going on with this campaign because it's really interesting right now. The president holding a rally, it was in Pennsylvania. A lot of people were there. Thousands of people were there. In this time of COVID-19 and concerns, people masked, people not masked, do you think it's more effective to hold large rallies or hold virtual events?
Yeah, the large rally, the in-person, the energy is always the better, always. The virtual thing just doesn't cut it when it comes to political campaigning. But that's all we've got. When it comes to Joe Biden, he hasn't been here in Arizona physically, and it's my impression that if he doesn't actually show his face physically in Phoenix or Tucson or anywhere else in Arizona, he's not going to win the state. Voters are not going to reward him. He's got to prove that he cares. And he can't do it through video conference, especially when the Trump family is here en masse, what feels like every single day of the week.
Well, even today, right? I mean, we have Donald Trump Jr. who's going to be here. But we talked last week with you as a collective group, and you had a lot to say about this very thing. Arizona does care about a candidate coming to our state, and considering how important we are in this election, it's really interesting to see some of the choices being made.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, as an amateur political scientist, I absolutely love the idea that Arizona is in the swing and that we might make a real difference because I love the people of Arizona. I love the state. We're a center-right state. I think we make good decisions on a national level. We send good people to Washington. So if indeed we get to actually help choose in a meaningful way the next president, or for that matter, the next majority of the United States Senate, which is equally important with the McSally-Kelly race. I think I'm proud of us in Arizona.
But I have to ask you, because we have seen this effort by the Trump campaign to get here, family members, why wouldn't the Biden-Harris campaign follow suit?
That's a great question. I am sure that their consultants and the candidates themselves are huddled up about that very thing. And of course, Joe Biden has been in his basement famously during COVID, is now out in some regard. But Senator Harris does not have that problem, and they haven't been here. And it's I think it's becoming painfully obvious that maybe Arizona is aspirational for Democrats and not really on their high target list. Now, they are spending a ton of money in Arizona on television, and so you might dismiss that. But they've got to be here physically in the modern age, or they will not be rewarded with Arizona victory.
All right, less than 6 weeks to go. We know the debates are next week. It should be interesting. Hopefully we can talk to you the day after, for sure. All right, Stan Barnes, political analyst right here in Arizona. We always appreciate your insight. Thank you for that.